both Callum and James have had outstanding seasons again. So it's come as no surprise to me that those two are in the running for the trophy.
Are they two guys you can hang your hat on at this club, given the amount of games they've played, over 50 games this season?
Yeah, not just the amount of games, but the quality of their play. And Callum got the club awards at the weekend. He's had a brilliant season, and he's now captain of his country. And James is just an outstanding talent and has been for such a long time.
How much more can those two improve in terms of what they do and what they can add to their game?
It's not really a question of improving. They're at their, James, he's coming into his peak years, so we're expecting again, maybe big performances from him over the next few seasons. And Callum, has just progressed really well, developed immensely under Brendan over the last few years to the point where he's just a top midfield player in the UK now. So whether they can improve on that, there's always scope to improve, but maybe add a few goals to the collection or killer passes or whatever. But I'm very, very pleased with where they are at the minute in their development as a player.
And they seem very settled here and like staying here as well. Is that something that takes a weight off the club's mind?
I'd like to think so, yeah. I mean, they both came through the ranks, and we're very proud of them. Really proud of what they've done in the players that they've become, and I think they're a real sort of standard bearer for all the young players coming through at Celtic. The likes of Kieran Tierney can be added to that as well. So yeah, I mean, we're delighted that not only have they come through, but the huge contribution they've made to the club in their time here.
In terms of players staying, Neil, has Celtic triggered the clause with Scott Sinclair?
Yes, so Scott will be here for another year.
How pleased are you about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good player. He's been a good player since he's walked in the door, and he's got 15-16 goals this season. Again, big contribution in the goals column, and that experience as well, and football intelligence is always important to have around.
And it helps when you're trying to recruit for next season that you've got that kind of quality willing to stay here.
Absolutely, and there's a familiarity there for Scott. Going into the Champions League qualifiers next season, he'll be one that we don't have to go and replace, put it that way.
Scott struggled to have game time a lot this season, Neil. I mean, you must feel, and the club must feel, that he's beginning to find his form again, and he can get back to the run of form that had him in the team when he first
Well, he's played a lot of games this season, so I wouldn't say he struggled for time on the pitch. Certainly under me, he's played maybe 75%, 80% of the games, and he maybe hasn't hit the heights of his first season, but I mean, that was a stellar season, and it's very difficult to replicate that year on year. But we know what we've got with Scott. He's an excellent player and always a threat.
Update on Kieran Tierney?
He's training, so he's in contention to start.
That's a boost, because there was a time I think they thought he may have not played it the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's got his head around. He's had advice from the specialist, and we're just going to manage him through now until the end of the season, hopefully.
What does that mean in terms of Scotland, Neil? Would you rather him not go, given the quicker turnaround in terms
I think it'll be very, very difficult for him to go with Scotland. We're sort of managing him on a daily basis at the minute, and he is going to require surgery, and the sooner the season finishes and he gets the surgery done, the better it'll be for him going forward.
What about Lee Griffiths? You said he was having fitness tests on Friday.
Yeah, they went well, and now he's out running on the grass, so again doing a little bit more conditioning work, so he's making good progress now in terms of getting up to full fitness.
How big are chances that he'll feature now in terms of...
Well, he's not this weekend anyway, that's for sure, but he's got another couple of weeks of work before we can really throw him in with the rest of the squad.
Neil, with regard to Kieran, if he was to have surgery immediately at the end of the season, what's the timescale for his potential return?
Probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Right, okay, so he'll be back for the qualifiers.
That's the idea anyway. It's double hernia, so that needs fixing.
Obviously, back to the game this weekend, what would you expect from Aberdeen?
Well, I mean, they're going for third place, and but Audrey's always a difficult place to go. Derek, I think's done I've made no secret of my admiration for what Derek's done there. So I'm expecting a very tough game. Resolute team, got goals in them, good athleticism, and they've given us plenty of problems over the last few seasons. So again, it's just been a quiet week in terms of preparing as best we can, getting the squad ready, just staying calm and focusing on one game at a time. And we know what's required. We know we just need a point, but we're not going up there to hold on for a draw. We can't play that way. We're not programmed that way, so we're going to try and go and win the game.
When you know that the title is so close, how much does that come into your thinking in terms of maybe preparation and team talk?
Well, I don't think you need that. You don't want players to lose the focus. It's just important we concentrate on the game, concentrate on the opposition. So this is just like any other game, really. It's the most important one because it's the next one. So it's been the normal week, normal preparation. We'll go out and train today and then travel tomorrow, and hopefully they'll be highly motivated to get over the line. I mean, a great win last week against a very good side, so we expect the game to be just as difficult away from home.
And you suspect it'll be another emotional 24-36 hours with the funeral tomorrow, Billy, and then...
It's been very, very difficult for the club, and off the back of obviously losing Billy, and I've lost Steve Chalmers as well, and that's hugely saddening. First of all, again, think of Steve's family. I was with him a couple of years ago when I presented him with his Hall of Fame award, and he's such a genial, looked after himself really well, always kept himself immaculate, Stevie, and was always bright. And him and Bobby were thick as thieves. Played good golfer, really good golfer as well as good footballer. With everything else going on the football side of things, it's such a difficult period for the club off the field.
I think Coppell's wife has called for more research funded by the football authorities into the effect of heading the ball and so on. Do clubs begin to take that seriously in a way that wasn't done before?
I think, yeah, off the back of the Jeff Astle situation in England as well. There's been a lot more study going into it, through the PFA and other associations, and that's obviously something that is very concerning if there is any sort of proof of that. I think the balls now and the game is a lot more sanitised, and health and safety of the players is paramount. But if there is some evidence of that, then it needs to be addressed.
Neil, were you perhaps surprised to not see Christopher Ayer on the Young Player of the Year shortlist?
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, so yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, he's been outstanding. Certainly since I've come in, he's played every minute of every game and he's been absolutely faultless. So yeah, a little bit surprised, but he's been magnificent. Huge progress in his play. Again, very versatile player, Chris. You can play him in a number of positions, and I know left centre half wasn't probably his preferred choice when he came in the door, but he's made it his own at the minute. He's been absolutely brilliant.
Do you see any comparisons between him and Virgil van Dijk?
Well, that's a very, very heady sort of comparison, but Virgil's Virgil. Chris, I think has room for improvement, but he's outstanding. All his fundamentals are there. Brilliant athleticism, reads the game very well, very good on the ball. But I think it's unfair at this stage to be comparing him to arguably the best defender in the world at the minute.
And just a quick one, Ajax at the moment one step away from the Champions League final. Can you and the club use them, a big club in a smaller league, as an example of what Celtic could aspire to be?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely yes.
And what steps would you take to get closer to them?
Well, we just look at the development of the players. Obviously Ajax have got, that academy has been world famous for 40 years. It doesn't happen overnight. So again, it's a progressive sort of step by step in the right direction. They've also spent a bit of money this season. You have to take that into consideration. Blind and Tadic coming in for the guts of 40 million. So there is that investment to look. Good recruitment, obviously, but there's no reason, maybe not as heady as the semi-finals, but there's no reason why in a year or two we can't be competing in the Champions League on a regular basis again.
Would you like another crack at Lionel Messi next year?
I would love another crack at Lionel Messi. I would be delighted. I would be watching the game like that, but how good is he? It's funny, you're sitting watching the game last night and afterwards you're just talking about him again, and he just brings so much joy to so many people. Obviously Liverpool fans will beg to differ, but he's done that to so many teams on the greatest of stages, and I thought Liverpool were excellent. I thought the scoreline flattered Barcelona. Is there a bit of mileage still in the tie? Possibly, but I thought for a spell Liverpool looked the stronger team, and at 1-0, if they equalised, they would have been in the ascendancy then. But then the great man steps up and he just does things that you can't legislate for. It's as simple as that, and he's been the difference for Barcelona for a long, long time.
I'll just go back to Scott. You said confirmation that the club has exerted the clause of Scott Sinclair. What the number of other lads, will their positions not become clearer until your own position's clear?
I don't know if my position is relevant to that. I would imagine the club will be working in the background on discussing the futures of a number of players. Obviously Meek is one that we're working away on at the minute.
But presumably you were heavily involved in the decision to exert Scots.
Yeah, it was a all-round decision to do that.
Any injuries for the weekend?
No fresh ones. We came through the game unscathed last week, and obviously we've got KT back in contention, so Aldson's didn't train yesterday, but he's training today, so he should be fine.